What's happening, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're watching this? We are here. We are live. We're ready to rock and roll, and excited to be here with you today for our Facebook Live Wednesday. We do these every Wednesday at noon. So if you want to make sure, wherever you're watching this, make sure you subscribe. Make sure that you hit like. Add me to your favorites over on my Facebook page, and make sure that you tune in. So today, what I'm going to talk about are Facebook Lives. Now, I just put out a new blog post this week on Monday, and a new blog post and video. So you want to make sure you look in the description of this video of what you're watching, and I've got a link there for you so you can check out my new blog post. And it basically gives you 5 Facebook Live ideas, things that you can talk about during your Facebook Lives or live streams in general, really. Things that will help you to get more viewers, get more prospects, and really convert those into customers, sales, whatever it is that your goal is for your business. So today what I want to do is we're going to talk about 5 tips to make better live streams. In other words, what you can do to make them better, make them more engaging, make your topics certainly more important. And I've got maybe a bonus tip or two that I might throw in here. So if you are watching this, if you're watching the replay, do me a favor, put hashtag replay in the comments. And if you're watching live, do me a favor. I'd love to have you comment so that I know you're there and that you're watching. Let me know where you're watching from. All right, so let's dive in and let's get into some of the tips. So Facebook Live and just live streams in general, I know have really had a huge impact on my business and my ability to connect with my audience. And if you're doing them, you know the power of them. And one of the ways that you can make your Facebook Lives better, one of the ways is to promote it if you want to get it out there more. Now, I'll be honest, I don't do a lot of promoting when it comes to my Facebook Lives. I kind of just tend to do them when I feel like it. But there's some times where I'm doing maybe something special, and I want to make sure that I promote it and get it out there. So I will put a little bit more into promoting it. But to get more viewers potentially, if you have access to an email list or a Facebook group, one of the things that you can do is really get it out there and promote it, especially if you've got a topic that you know people are going to want to learn about, that people want to know about. And so that's a big, big key, is to make sure that you promote your Facebook Live, or if you're going live on YouTube or wherever you're at, you can certainly do that. One of the things that, and I'll throw this in as a little bit of a bonus tip, is that one of the things that you can do when you're promoting it, and one of the things that will kind of widen your reach, is you can use something called Restream. I use a thing called Restream that ties into a software that I use that streams it out into several different places. And the good thing is that when you schedule them, it will schedule it on all those platforms for you. Typically is how it works, okay? But so promoting it and getting it out there, getting the word out that you're going to start doing something is a big deal, all right? So let's talk about another tip here that will really help you if you want to do better Facebook Lives or just live streams in general, is to make sure that you limit distractions, okay? One of the things that I do when I go on to do a Facebook Live is I do a little bit of prep time. You know, I spend a few minutes beforehand just being clear on what it is that I want to talk about, jot it down on a notepad or write it down, whatever it takes. And I basically just put a few main points that I want to talk about, that I want to hit on. So you want to make sure that you prepare yourself ahead of time and limit distractions when you're doing it. So if you're going to do a Facebook Live, close the door, let the family know wherever you're at. It's always a good time to get in there and connect with your audience and share some value. Heck, if you're a stay-at-home parent, mom, dad, whatever, and you got kids, sometimes having kids in your live stream can be really cool. I think that that's a cool thing. I think people can relate to that. Life isn't always perfect, but definitely prepare yourself and limit distractions where you can, so it gives you the opportunity to connect with your audience as best as possible. Okay. So now, one of the other things that I think is really great when you're doing Facebook Lives is to be responsive. So A couple of you have commented. We got Terry Calvert on here. I absolutely love Terry. And there's a couple more of you on here just as Facebook users, so I'm not sure exactly who you are. So I got to work on that. Probably some permissions there for you to be able to, for me to see your name and stuff. But, be interactive. So if people have questions, interact with people on a live stream. That's definitely a great way. I know that if I go on a live stream and I comment, I always dig it when somebody calls out my name or says hello. I always think that's really cool. So be interactive. Say hello. You can be sharing your content and acknowledge people at the same time. And that's the cool thing about doing a live, is that, when you acknowledge somebody, they feel heard, they feel recognized. And I know for me, that's a big one. I like that. And so I know I like to do that with others as well. Okay, so be responsive, be interactive, make your Facebook Lives, your live streams, make them, a fun event, a cool time where people can connect. And we need that connection more than ever nowadays as well. So, okay, so here's another tip for you, and that is to use other channels to promote your Facebook Live. So the very first one I would highly suggest is that if you have an email list, which you should be building an email list, okay, that is the absolute number one thing you should be focused on, is building an email list. And use your email list to promote your live video, okay? This is a great way to get it out there. So using other channels. Now, email, I talked about promoting your Facebook Lives, but use what channels? Email, okay? If you're on other social media platforms, tweet it out. Put out a status update. Use other channels that you have to get the word out. If you're building a text messaging list, use your text messaging list. Okay. That's a great way to let people know that you are live. It's a great way to get people on and can really, really make a difference. No doubt about it. So use different channels. Think about it. Think about how you can really get out there and promote it. What are the different ways you have it? Maybe you have access to Facebook groups where you can go in there and you can let people know that you're going to go live and the topic that you're going to talk about. And just a bonus tip, one of the things that's very important when you're doing a live video is coming up with a very catchy headline. Something, the worst that you could do, I'll tell you this, the worst thing that I think you can do when you're doing a live video is to not put a headline in there. And I actually see a lot of people put headline, or they don't put a headline or something that grabs people's attention when they go live. So they just kick on the camera and they start talking, but there's really no context to what the video is even about. I see people doing that, and honestly, I just scroll past them. Like if they're not talking about a topic that I have no idea what it's about, I'm not gonna click on the video. I'm certainly not gonna go in there and do that. So use some type of a headline and make sure it's catchy, okay? And learn how to write effective headlines. The default rule that I use, or the default formula, if you want to call it, for headlines is a very simple formula that works really, really well. And it's the how to blank without blank formula. So basically the how to lose that last 5 pounds without fad diets or starving yourself. Basically that's how I don't always use that, but that's kind of a default formula that you can use to come up with catchy headlines. It's basically, how do I get all the stuff I really want without doing all the sucky stuff? And that's basically how you can think about it. So definitely make your thumbnails or your headlines very, very catchy. So what's up, Terry? Yes, Instagram is another place that you could go live as well. So that's something to think about, Instagram for sure. And what's up, Marvin? Good to see you, buddy. Great to have you on here. Marvin's over there on YouTube. Awesome to see. So let's get into it. So another point here for you is that when you've done your Facebook Live, okay, I highly suggest that you kind of analyze your results. Okay, go back in, especially on Facebook. You've really got some great analytics that you can do when you go onto Facebook if you're using a Facebook page. So go on to your Facebook analytics and kind of look at and see what you can see. Check engagement, see how that is. And then of course, YouTube has those type of analytics as well to give you, a show and see, help you to see. Data is very important. Data, especially if you're a business owner, is very, very important because it just makes all the difference in terms of how you can make changes. You don't know if something's doing good or bad unless you have something that tells you that it's bad. I'll give you an example. Probably, I like to do a lot of presentations. I have my own courses where I do presentations to sell my courses. And one of the things that I did is I had a recording of a presentation where it was selling one of my courses. And one of the things that I did was I checked out the analytics for that video. So this video is probably about an hour and 20 minutes long. And I looked at the view rate. And what I noticed was at about the 50 or 60 minute mark, I would have this big drop off and people were dropping off. And I could see the graph was kind of gradually going down, down, down as the longer the video went. So what I did was I went back to the presentation. I made some changes to the presentation to hold people longer during the presentation. So, and I made this based on a data decision, okay? And so what I did was I changed up the presentation a little bit, and then I let it run for a while. And after about a month, I went in and I looked at the analytics, and lo and behold, I had a 20% completion rate before, and after I made the changes, I went all the way up to about a 45% completion rate. So what happened was only 20% of the people were finishing the video, and based on the data I looked at, I made the changes, I got it to a 45% completion rate. But I only would have been able to do that had I known the analytics, okay, and analyzing the results. So go in if you have access to some type of data, and if you're doing lives on Facebook or YouTube, trust me, you can go in, check out the analytics. Now, you don't get these kind of analytics if you're doing it on your regular profile. So it is important to check that on your page as well. Doesn't mean you can't stream to your profile. I do right now. I'm streaming to my profile as well. But try and make the best decisions that you can based on the data that you have. Okay. So I promise you, I give you an extra tip. And one of those tips is, I kind of already mentioned it, but definitely if you want to expand your reach, look at some additional pieces of software that help you syndicate out your lives. Like for instance, this live video, wherever you're watching it, it's going out to 4 or 5 different places. This is going out to my Facebook profile, my Facebook page, 2 of my groups that I have, and it's also going over to YouTube. And it's going out to Twitter. Okay, so this is all streaming in multiple different places. I use a software called Restream. You can go and check it out. If you want to go through my affiliate link, you can. It's markharbert.com/Restream. And you can check it out. Go over there, see it, see if it's something that you like, but it'll allow you to expand your reach out there and really, get your message out there. So that's definitely a big one, but really, I want to hit on another one, which I talked about already, but the headlines. Make sure you really put that focus on a headline and think it through a little bit. Come up with some good content and make sure that you're doing the best for your audience, okay? So anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you today. Remember, I'm going to go live every Wednesday at noon. We might change that up at some point and start doing it later in the day or even in the evening. It's possible. But for right now, I'm doing it at noon. So make sure you set it on my Facebook page. Make sure you head over there, like it, and set it to one of your favorites and set it to all notifications so you get notified when we go on. But anyway, I appreciate you guys. Do me a favor. Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions regarding Facebook Lives? Maybe, something you want to know. Go ahead and post it real quick. I'll hang out for a minute or two and answer some of the questions that you have. Terry did bring up Instagram. So one of the things that I can say about Instagram is I personally have never gone live on Instagram. I need to focus more on that. I'm really just starting to get more and more into Instagram. So if you are on Instagram and you're not following me, go to my profile, instagram.com/Mark Harbert, all one word, all lowercase, no spaces, and make sure you follow me. Follow me on Instagram and check it out. I am posting, some content over there on a fairly regular basis, but I'd love to connect with you as well. So also, I lost my train of thought there, but you want to make sure that you do that. So one person here is asking, where do we find the analytics? So for instance, if you're in YouTube, one of the places that you find your analytics is you go into the YouTube studio, and what you can do is you'll find it in there. Now, I use a browser extension called TubeBuddy. You can check that out. Again, my affiliate link, markharbert.com/TubeBuddy or TB. You can go over there and check it out. I love it, but there's a little button that I can click and it takes me into the analytics of each video. And it's kind of a shortcut, but the analytics are in the YouTube studio. If you're looking at it on Facebook, on your Facebook page, all you need to do is go into the settings, I believe is where it's at. And you'll find the analytics in there. So it's somewhere in the settings where you can check that out. And but the analytics are on your pages. You just have to find them and go through the info. But especially on YouTube, I spend a lot of time on my YouTube analytics because I'm working on really building up my YouTube channel more and more. But you really want to make kind of those decisions and evaluate data. That's very, very important. All right, so Margine is asking, okay, so I was going live on my page daily, Monday through Friday, had great reach, now I get nothing. Why? So that's a hard question to answer because Facebook is weird like that. Sometimes you get great reach, sometimes you don't. Facebook is always tweaking their algorithms. So the truth of the matter is that it's not always going to be clear on why that is. What I would do is spend a little bit more time, Margine, promoting your Facebook Lives if you're not already. Promote them a little bit. If you have an email list, make sure that you are promoting it out to your email list, and that will help with your reach. No question about it. So it's hard to say. The Facebook algorithm is always changing. What I would do is just focus on putting the content out there, and you will actually get more views on a live video than people are actually on live. I don't know if that made sense or not. So you're actually going to get more replay views than you will live views, and that's just a fact. I've noticed that over the years, and that's just kind of the way it works. So unfortunately, I wish I could tell you why, but focus on a good headline, focus on putting out good content, and make sure you're doing what you can to promote your live to get it out there. Okay. So awesome. Well, good deal. So one last thing, in my blog post, I talk about 5 ideas for Facebook Lives, and I have actually put together a PDF if you don't have this already, and go to markharbert.com/101. And it is my 101 live stream ideas PDF. So basically, you can go to markharbert.com/101, and I have a PDF that's got 101 ideas on it, literally, that you can talk about on your Facebook Lives. So if you are lacking in the idea department, I've solved that problem for you. You can go download that PDF. Just enter your information at markharbert.com/101. and I'll email it right over to you. Okay. So, good. Awesome, Margine. Glad you got some value out of that. Hopefully that helps you a little bit, but no matter what, okay, Margine, just no matter what, stay faithful doing it. That's the important thing. You're not always going to get a ton of people on, live. That's just a fact. Like right now, I don't have a ton of people on here, but I know that the power in my live video is really in the replay. That's where it really comes. So stay focused on that. Keep that at the focus and just do your content. Okay. do that and keep the focus where it should be. And I promise you that you will, you'll continue to improve. So anyway, appreciate you guys. Have a great one. Go get that 101 live stream ideas PDF, markharbert.com/101, and have a great one. We'll see you guys next Wednesday at noon, and it's possible I may pop in between there just to say hi and share something with you. It's always possible. But anyway, appreciate you guys. Do me a favor, comment, share this video, tag somebody in the comments if you think they'll get value from it, and, share it on. All right, appreciate you guys. Love you. Bye-bye.